In life, and especially the radio, survival and preparedness communities, we talk a lot about contingencies in case of situations where radio, telephone and cellular networks no longer work. Most of our communications rely on landlines, cellular networks or the internet, so in the event of an outage, or worse, a large-scale emergency, what do we have to fall back on? The reality is that while it's unlikely that there would be failures or major disruptions to national communications, at least here in the UK, most major countries have systems in place to ensure emergency communications can be maintained. When the now obsolete UK emergency communications network was decommissioned, there was a need for a new, resilient and independent telecommunications system that would still function when the main networks such as landlines and mobile phones were unavailable or compromised. This is where HITS comes in. HITS, or the High Integrity Telecommunications System, is a satellite-based telecommunications infrastructure provided and funded by the UK Government, the Ministry of Defence and a private company, Paradigm. It is designed for use by the emergency services and the government in any kind of major emergency, crisis or time of stress. When all else fails, HITS is designed to provide an essential service and allow communications between national, regional and local levels of crisis coordination during almost any disruptive event. In order to provide this level of resilience, HITS uses the military-grade Skynet 5 constellation of satellites and connects to them using a 1.2 metre satellite dish or VSAT. This means that HITS is independent of all commercial telecommunications networks. However, most HITS sites also have a terrestrial connection for added resilience, which will facilitate the breakout of calls onto other networks such as mobile phone. HITS is therefore able to fully interoperate with the public switch telephone network, the main landline network across the UK. Now, there are 4 types of HITS sites: hybrid, terrestrial, transportable and satellite. Sites that have both satellite and terrestrial connections are known as hybrid sites. Most hybrid sites use the terrestrial connection by default, but the system automatically switches to the satellite connection should the terrestrial link become unavailable. Fixed sites such as this one located in Manchester are spread across the UK and are supported by transportable equipment that can be deployed as required. Most sites have a satellite dish installed along with the necessary electronics including laptops, printers and digital phones. Now, the majority of HITS sites are hybrid sites, however there are other types of sites in the network. Terrestrial only sites don't have a satellite connection to the HITS network, mainly for structural or planning reasons. In most cases, they will instead have 2 secure and diverse terrestrial connections to the HITS network. Now, these sites are not as resilient as the standard hybrid installation. Transportable sites aren't based permanently at any fixed HITS location, but are maintained in a state of readiness by the supplier. They provide a satellite connection to the HITS network when deployed to a HITS fallback location, which I'll come to in a minute. Transportables are placed on short notice to move, and the first one can be on the road within 6 hours of the Cabinet Office notifying the Paradigm Customer Contact Centre. The transportable terminals are usually deployed to one of the pre-identified fallback locations and come with up to 10 digital phones and laptops so that a mobile office or command centre can be set up where needed. Lastly are satellite-only sites. These are made for locations where it's not possible to achieve a diverse or resilient terrestrial connection. You can see on the map here where each core HITS site is located. In addition to these sites are the pre-identified fallback sites, and each police force area has these. These sites are used for the deployment of HITS transportable equipment. Unlike the core HITS sites, no installation work is required for the fallback sites as there's no permanent HITS presence. The sites are intended for use only when the main HITS site in an area is unavailable. The HITS core network has been installed mainly in police strategic coordination centres across England and Wales, which is where most emergency response situations would be led from, and there is one HITS site per police force area. There is a HITS connection to the devolved administrations in Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland, as well as key central government locations such as Cobra. The first 3 phases of the rollout were completed by early 2012 in time for the London Olympics, but since then the Cabinet Office has explored options to expand the system beyond the core network to include central government business continuity sites, some specialised national response centres and some of the Crown dependencies. So, in the event of a major disaster, emergency or network outage, there's a good chance that the UK's high-integrity telecommunications system will be put to use to maintain vital communications at all times.